You Jamaicans are more African than certain Africans here on the African continent.
Yeah.
I love these Jamaicans because they know the truth and they know where they're from. They understand Africanism, true Pan-Africanism. Jamaicans
That comes from within for the Jamaicans. African unity, Pan-Africanism.
we need look, Jamaicans, you are welcome to your motherland anytime, any day. Even in my house, you're welcome. These Jamaican people are the best when it comes to this, and they show so much.
Welcome back to my YouTube channels. My name is Team TC Reaction. Kindly for watching me for the first time. Remember to subscribe, like, and also comment. For my returning viewers, thank you so much for your support you are showing me in this channel. Greetings here from Africa to Jamaicans. I love you so much. So guys, in today's video is about Jamaica. Most of people normally confuse that Jamaica is in Africa, and in really sense as Jamaica is not from Africa and is in Caribbean country, and some of them have come out and saying no, Jamaica is in Africa because we resemble each other and we look alike. So kindly guys, let's watch this video until the end, and then I'll come back with more reaction.
You Jamaicans are more African than certain Africans here on the African continent.
Yeah.
I love these Jamaicans because they know the truth and they know where they're from. They understand Africanism, true Pan-Africanism. Jamaicans
that comes from within for the Jamaicans. African unity, Pan-Africanism.
we need look, Jamaicans, you are welcome to your motherland anytime, any day. Even in my house, you're welcome. These Jamaican people are the best when it comes to this, and they show so much support even for Burkina Faso's Captain Ibrahim Traore. Yes, the Jamaicans are out here. I saw you guys protesting on the 30th of April in support, in solidarity with Captain Ibrahim Traore. In my opinion, the only one and truly head of state of Africa.
Yes.
Do your thing, get online, tweet about it, put an X out there, show your support, go out there, continue to make noise, because these freaking Western countries are out here with a freaking agenda. Burkina Faso is not enough. That's why they're also pushing a narrative regarding that South Africa. You understand? South Africa.
South Africans are okay with things not making sense. For example, Jamaica's not in Africa, Haiti's not in Africa, Brazil's not in Africa, but I've come across some South Africans that in theory know this, but in reality, like, they don't compute it or process it, right? For example, I'll tell people about my Jamaican friends. I'll be like, oh my gosh, like, Jamaicans have housed me and made me feel more welcome and helped my transition a lot more than, you know, some African people. And they'll be like, why are you separating Jamaicans from Africans? Is Jamaica not in Africa? I'm like, bro, we were in the same geography class. You know that Jamaica is not in Africa. And then people would have to dig in their knowledge and be like, oh my gosh, in theory, yes, I do know that it's not in Africa, but the way that Jamaican culture, Haitian culture, even some people think that Brazil, not as often Brazil comes up, but some people do think that Brazil is in Africa. Like, they would know it in theory that it's not in Africa, but then practically and realistically, like, their brains just see these cultures, the spirituality within these cultures, the expression, the color, the ceremoniousness, the way that Africans feel loved when they're in these countries, and they'll be like, yeah, this must be an African person, even though the theory we learned in class is cognitively dissonant to that, or it is incongruent to the information that their brain feeds them. And I find that so fascinating. And I think then when you approach the African continent or South Africa, knowing that things make sense not making sense, knowing that people can maneuver the countries in the world in their heads to make sense of identity in the world, I think it lets you approach South African ignorance differently, and South African history and political context differently, because there is a context as to why people think that Jamaica is in Africa. And it's not everyone, it's some people, it's probably a minority before people come at me. But yeah, I hope I'm making sense.
I cannot believe I have to fucking make this video again. Okay, right. So, for my ignorant people out there, for my geographically challenged people out there, I have some crazy news, right? Jamaica is not in Africa. Jamaica is not in fucking Africa, okay? I don't know. I just thought growing up that everybody knew geography growing up. I don't know why it was just me. Maybe it's just one of my, autistic niches. But I'm back home in Korea now, but I was literally in Thailand this morning, and some guy at the airport, he's like, oh my God, where are you from? I think he was Thai. I'm like, yeah, man, Jamaica, I'm come from here. I don't know Jamaica, I'm come from here. It's the bone. I said, in Africa? You know, I lived in Asia for like 5 years now. I'm used to it. It's nothing major. I'm not mad. It's not that deep. But out of all the places I've been to, this is crazy, right? This is crazy. This is a shock. Asia might be the worst when it comes to geography. I'm just like, where are the schools? You know, what are y'all like learning? Do y'all just not know that there are other black people outside of America and Africa? Like, what is going on? And it's not just Asia specifically. My African friend, Katie, this is about you. Yeah. Yeah, this is about you. Half Nigerian, half Japanese girl, right? We're going to the movies one day. She's like, Ezra, you never been to Africa? I'm like, Katie, why? How would I have the opportunity to go to Africa? Like, why would I be in Africa? She's like, aren't you African? And then proceeds to tell me that all her friends in Africa think Jamaica is in Africa. Cultural erasure. So this is a PSA for absolutely fucking everybody who is ignorant about geography. Jamaica is in the Caribbean, you know. Right under North America, right above South America, right next to Central. I can't take it, man. I like the ignorance. Open up the school, them. If you do a DNA test on me, yes, it will come back to Africa because, you know, slavery. But it's been a while since then. Jamaica has its own culture, own people, own language, own traditions. Educate yourselves. Thank you.
Guys, do you know that there are people who think that Jamaica is in Africa? Like, serious. And, you know, sometimes some people say some things and you say, oh my God, why would you think that? That's so stupid. Like, it makes sense that you would think Jamaica is in Africa. Like, we were talking about flights and she was like, what's the flight time to go home? So I said like 4 and 20 minutes, you know. She said 4 and 20 minutes to Africa. I said Jamaica's not in Africa. Jamaica's in the Caribbean. I mean, yes, like that is widely known that Jamaica's in the Caribbean, but it makes sense. Say Jamaica should be a place in Africa. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but it does.
Jamaica not being in Africa doesn't make sense to me. It's like 77 plus 33.
This is spiritual. The love Africans have for Jamaicans, it's really, really spiritual, people. I know a lot of you are going to think that's crazy, but that is true. It's like you cannot convince an African at some point in their lives that Jamaica is not an African country. They will literally pull out pictures of Jamaicans and they'll say, yeah, and they are African. Then you'll say to them, okay, point where they are in Africa, and then they'll be all blank and they'll be traumatized when they discover that Jamaica is actually an island in the Caribbean. I was traumatized when I discovered that, so I'm talking from experience. So then my ancestors say to me, it's spiritual. The connection between Jamaicans and Africans is spiritual. That connection that broke between African Americans and Africans because of slavery did not break with Jamaicans. It remained like the cord, the umbilical cord between the Africans and the African Americans. It broke during slavery, but it did not break with the Jamaicans. It remained strong. They remained tagged into the source. So what was the reason? What is the reason that they were tagged into the source and remained tagged into the source? The women, they had very strong metaphysical scientists who were women, and they were like leading them. It's almost like one of their leaders, one of their very first leaders who did what she did. I think I remember her name. Wherever she was very, very metaphysically strong. She did rituals along with others which kept the cord, the umbilical cord, intact, because she thought one day they were going to be able to get on boats and go home, and she didn't want to lose that connection. Literally, yeah, I'm listening to them talking. Literally, that's why for Africans, Jamaica is in Africa, no matter what. It's a spiritual connection that has remained over hundreds of years and will remain for eternity. Isn't that fascinating? I think that's amazing. I think that's cool. And yes, I still think it's a travesty that Jamaica is not in Africa.
One thing for sure, Jamaica is in Africa. I don't care what the geographers say. Because do you know how much that scarred me when I was 10? Do you understand? I'm sorry.
Audibodi. Yes guys, in today's video we're talking about Sierra Leone's language, which is called Creole. This is an English-based Creole language spoken throughout Sierra Leone in West Africa. Native to the Sierra Leone Creole people or Creoles, a community of descendants from the freed and enslaved from the West Indies, Canada, the US, the British Empire, all freed and enslaved people, the Jamaican Maroons, African Americans, and liberated Africans influenced Creole, but the Jamaican Maroons, Igbo, Yoruba, and Akan liberated Africans were the most influential. Creole is a language on its own and not a pidgin due to it having a fixed grammatical structure and rules. It is also not broken English. Creole's roots include English, Portuguese, French, and a mix of African languages indigenous to Sierra Leone and other places like Nigeria and Ghana. While most of its vocabulary comes from English, its sound system and grammar are closer to that of nearby African languages, in particular Yoruba. It is also very similar to Nigerian Pidgin and Jamaican Patois. Have you heard of the Cromanti language of Jamaica? It is the mother tongue of the Jamaican Maroons. It was used by them to communicate with their African-born ancestors. The Maroons are descendants of enslaved people who escaped to freedom and formed their own independent communities. Cromanti is just one of the languages of Jamaica and is closely related to the Akan language group of Ghana. Cromanti is also similar to the Creole languages spoken in Suriname.
I just want to repeat the question. Are you Jamaican or Africa? The question in and of itself is inherently flawed and reeks of bad faith. Because one, Jamaica is a country and Africa is a continent. Secondly, when that question, are you Jamaican or are you African, is asked, the question is not about a ancestry, it's about a present-day identity. Jamaicans are very much aware and claim their African ancestry. Many claiming the modern state of Ghana, claiming that the majority of enslaved Jamaicans came from the Gold Coast, while others lay claim to the modern state of Nigeria, claiming terms such as Red Igbo and words like Uno being their rationale. And there's even a few who cite Sierra Leone as their ancestral place of origin due to the fact that many enslaved Jamaicans actually were sent back to Sierra Leone and the similarity between Jamaican Patois and Sierra Leone Creole.
Why am I just finding this out? Why? And I was seriously ready to argue with my friends. My friend was telling me and I was like, bro, you're lying. I was laughing at her. Why? Anytime I tell people, oh, I'm from Nigeria, they're like, oh, I have a friend from Jamaica. It's not even in Africa. Why didn't I know that? Why didn't you go tell me that?
Wow, welcome back. Hope you have watched a very full video about people coming out and giving Jamaica the hypes, and most of the people normally confuse about Jamaica being in Africa. So guys, in comment section I want to see your reaction, how you really view Jamaica. Jamaica is from Africa. So Jamaica is an island located in Caribbean in North America, and its original is from Africa. They are our brothers and sisters who are just taken here in Africa through slavery. And Jamaica is an African country because what we normally, Africa and Jamaica, they normally share the same culture. When you come in reggae music, Jamaica has the best reggae music, and all Africans love reggae music, and even Rastafarians, even the Haile Selassie, he was the one who started the movement of the Rastafarians. And even though he did not support that movement, but it was started in Ethiopia here, and Ethiopia is in Africa, and Jamaica made sure that they influenced that of that Haile Selassie, made them to be the Rastas in all the world. And now when you see the Rastafarians all are in Jamaica, and the movement was started here in Ethiopia. So Africa and Jamaica, they are just the blood, and they are the brothers and sisters, because we came from the original motherland, and Africa being the motherland of the black people, so Jamaica is also part of us. And I normally fell in love with Jamaicans, because when Jamaica really shines, I'm also the part of them, because of the love, because of the relationship we have here in Africa and Jamaica. And another thing is about the another thing that made me to made me people to be confused is about the culture, guys. These people, they have a very comedy. African also did well in comedy. When you come in comedy, Jamaica is the best, but Africa also did well in comedy. We have seen a lot of the comedians come here in Africa also doing well in United States and other countries. And so Africa and Jamaica has the strong relationship. And another thing is about what I can call, it's about the sports. Jamaica normally perform well in sprinters, short races, and also here in Africa, Africa did well. They normally perform well in long races, because now when in Kenya and Ethiopia, they normally run the long races, and they have breaking a lot of records. They have set a lot of records compared to Jamaica. Jamaica also did well in 100 meters. They have the fastest man in earth. He came from Jamaica. He's Usain Bolt. And each and every time when you mention Jamaica, people think about Africa. In this relationship, we have also witnessed how Jamaica really supporting the Africa. We have seen people coming out and support Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso from the Jamaicans people. The Rastafaras of Jamaica, they came out and supported Ibrahim Traore. So this shows that Africa and Jamaica is the same. They are our brothers and sisters. They are just living in those islands, but we are the same. We resemble the same. We came from the same womb, but different mother. And that is why I normally say that don't then I can't allow anybody to touch Jamaica, because Jamaica is in my heart. And we have seen the unity that Africa's now is going. The movement of unity has just started here in Africa, and it's all moving across all over the Jamaica. Jamaica also has that movement. And when when here in movement of Africa is doing what about the colonialism, we are scrapping here the colonialism, and the colonialism has been started by Ibrahim Traore, and also Jamaica is against the imperialism. That is the unity that now the African have. And the people who normally trying to separate us is the white people. The white people normally trying to separate we as the African and the Jamaicans people, that we hate each other. But we don't hate each other. We love each other. We love our brothers and sisters. Jamaica is our home. They are our brothers and sisters. And the culture that is Jamaica is trending all over, across all over the world. And also in Africa, Africa is doing the same, and we have seen those guy really saying that Ibrahim Traore was supported more. He got more support from the Jamaicans people, and also we have seen that ladies crying after realizing that Jamaica is not in Africa, and that is the love that African have towards Jamaica, and that is what we only want from we as guys in Jamaica. So kindly guys for watching me. I'm your host, your team Tessie. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel, make sure you subscribe, like, share, and comment. And also, let's make this video viral, because we African, we love Jamaica, and Jamaica is our home. Bye for now. See you later.